Morecambe, a historic Lancashire town located on the breezy coastline of the northwest. Best known for three things: its scenic promenade, the late great Eric Morecambe, and of course its world famous pies. Away from the arcades, hotels and sunshine stands the Globe Arena, the home of Morecambe Football Club. The new state-of-the-art stadium was built by August 2010 in time for the new season. Morecambe FC were originally founded back in 1920 and to this day stand as one of the most historic Lancashire football clubs around. The club, known as the Shrimps, gained promotion into the Football League for the very first time in May 2007, when they managed to beat Exeter 2-1 in the Conference Playoff Final at Wembley. Morecambe are managed by former Shrimps player and the current longest serving manager in the Football League, Jim Bentley. He has managed the club since the summer of 2011, taking over from his predecessor, Sammy McIlroy. Like any football team, Morecambe have had several individual players that have made an impact upon signing for the club. Barry Roche has been Morecambe's #1 keeper since 2008 when he signed from Chesterfield. The Irish shot stopper has capped over 500 appearances for Morecambe, and during his 10 years at the club, he has become a fan favourite amongst the supporters. Roche certainly pays homage to the reference "age is just a number," many believing that he is improving as each season passes. This season, Barry has pulled off some top-class saves to keep his team from losing points. However, the highlight of Barry's career at Morecambe is pinpointed by one moment in particular. His first ever career goal that he scored against Portsmouth in the league in February 2015, getting a 94th minute equaliser. So you've been at Morecambe for 10 years now. In that time you've played over 400 games, but where would you see yourself in another 10 years' time?
Ideally I want to go into the coaching side of things. I'm doing my coaching badges. Possibly looking along the lines of as well, I'll be opening up my own goalkeeping academy. I don't think there's an awful lot of things in the area for goalkeepers, so I still want to stay in the game, and the coaching is the natural sort of pathway that I'm looking at.
So you've been playing at the club for quite a long time, obviously. What are the most noticeable changes that you've kind of recognised in those past 10 years?
Well, the main thing is the stadium. When I first came to Morecambe, we were at Christie Park. It was a great little ground. We had a really good record there. But for the club to move forward, it needed to upgrade the stadium, and they did. So in that respect, the stadium would be the most noticeable difference. Yeah. Do you think that Morecambe overachieve in comparison to what people expect of them? Yeah, plain and simple. Yeah, for the budget we've got, the facilities we've got, for us to be staying in the league is an achievement.
Over the past few seasons, Morecambe have struggled to build a strong enough defence. However, this season, the addition of several new defenders, such as Steve Auld, Mitchell Lund, and Sam Lavelle, has enabled them to build a good understanding across the back line, overall making Morecambe look much more confident when defending in games. One man that's made an impact upon signing for Morecambe this season is 21-year-old local lad Sam Lavelle. Sam spent his younger years at Blackburn Rovers' youth academy but never got the break into their first team. Overall, Lavelle has had a great first season at Morecambe, and he is now widely regarded as one of the best upcoming stars in League Two. Right, so overall, how would you say your first season at Morecambe's gone?
I'm pleased with it. I always set myself little targets at the start of the season, and I've exceeded them targets. I thought I'd be coming here playing sort of 10 to 15 games, and sort of coming off the bench, maybe stuff like that. But before Christmas I got myself in the team and I've managed to keep myself in it, so I'm happy with that.
Do you think it helps you like improve your game when you're playing against experienced defenders like Dean Winnard, Steve Old, players like that?
Yeah, I think so. Oldie especially, he gives me a lot of advice because he's played international level, and they've obviously been. Dean's been in this league for years and years, so I take his advice and his opinions on things, and it helps me. Yeah.
Do you think having the mixture of like younger players and more experienced like sort of players, do you think that helps the team? Like?
I think so, yeah, because we're quite a close knit group even with the age barriers. There's quite like you say, there's a good mix of young players like me and McGowan and Brough and Conlon and all these young players, and then you've got Tomo, Kev, but we all get on as well, which just helps, and the age doesn't really matter when we're out there.
If you had to pinpoint one game this season in particular, like which one would it be? Like, what do you think's been the best game?
It's got to be Yeovil at home. Not sure if we went to that one, but it's probably the best game I've been involved in football. For those who don't know, we were 2-0 down quite early on. Got it back to 2-2. Then 3-2 down with 5 minutes to go. We thought we messed it up, and luckily we scored 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, and Big Kev scored the winner with a minute to go, which is good.
One player who has been working in tandem with Sam is Morecambe right back Aaron McGowan. AJ came through the Morecambe Youth Academy, getting his first senior appearance at the age of 16. Now 21 years old, he's capped over 100 appearances for the Shrimps and consistently shows fans good performances in games. The Liverpudlians' hard work hasn't gone unnoticed this season either, picking up the Visitors Player of the Season and the Supporters Player of the Season at the end of the season awards ceremony. McGowan is a prime example of an experienced head on young shoulders. So thanks for the interview. Starting off, of course, you won the award this season for Supporters Player of the Year. What was that like?
It's obviously a good feeling to know that you've been recognised. Bit of a reward for all the hard work I've done over the past 12 months. Obviously it's nice that I think we're Supporters Player of the Year, so that shows obviously the fans have voted that I'm the best player this year, so obviously a great achievement to have at a young age as well, considering my age. So, and obviously I think I got the Visitors one as well, it's the local newspaper. They know me your biggest critics, aren't they? So it's always nice to get that one as well, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously Morecambe's defence, we've seen they've been quite successful this season in terms of you don't see them leaking too many goals. Equally, you could say they've not been scoring too many at the other end. So, do you see it as a problem? Do you think?
Yeah, it has been a problem all season. There's no hiding away from the fact that obviously we're all a team, but defence has definitely come out on top this year. You know, we've been solid and resolute, and I think we're about 8th or 9th in the table. I don't know how it works, but I think we're bottom scorers in the league. So the proof's in the pudding. If we scored a few more goals, we wouldn't be in the position where we are at this moment in time. It can be frustrating, but at the end of the day, it's a team game. So I think it hasn't been a fact that we're too defensive. We just haven't been having so hard chances this year. It just hasn't went for us one way or another. So it is a bit frustrating, but as I say, it's a team game. So you got to get behind the lads who play in the 4 positions, and we can only do our job, and hopefully they can chip in with a few more towards the running.
Yeah. So who do you think's been one of the most promising players, like the best newcomer this season?
Personally, playing that, I've built a good relationship with Sam Lavelle. I've spoke to Sam about this a lot because he's a year younger than me, and I see how hard it is to break him because I've done it myself, and now I'm a first team regular. I've been in his exact shoes a year ago. Probably better off because I think I was on about 70 appearances at his age where he came in and made his Football League debut. I think he's been outstanding. I think he's got a bright future. Obviously playing next to him as well, built a relationship with him. He's a great lad off the pitch, and he's got a bright future somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, but Morecambe have a good mix of like younger players, more experienced sort of players like your Kevin Ellison, your Gary Thompson. Do you think that helps the team kind of gel?
Definitely. We've got the best dressing room in the country. I'll back out for banter and a good workplace to come into. Everyone gets on. I can honestly put my hand on my heart and say there's not one bad egg in that dressing room. And I think it's mad because sometimes the older lads bring us up where we have to realise we grow up a bit, but sometimes we bring them down to a bit more of a childish level. So it's a good place to come into and a good working environment every day. Especially with characters like Kevo and Kevin, Tomo and Barry Roche and that, so yeah, it's a good feeling to have.
Yeah, and obviously you yourself, you're still young, only in your early 20s, but like you say, you managed to get into the first team at quite a young age while you were still a teenager. What was that like for you?
Surreal. I think 6 months earlier I was playing Sunday League football as a boy, 15 years old, and then 6 months later I was 16 and playing in the Football League. It's not what I expected. I was to be honest with you, I was like every just normal lad. I was planning on going to my local sixth form.
Yeah.
And going into a business diploma. I was going to do something like that. And I was away with Great Britain Catholic schools, and in that squad there was lads going into scholarships, and at the end of it we had a big meeting and the manager was like asking the lads what they're going to go into and that, and I said I actually don't have a clue what I'm going to go into, because I was just a normal kid from Liverpool. I was going to go into sixth form and see what happens from there. And he said I've got a contact at Morecambe, which was Dickie Danson. And then I had a scholarship and never even done a training session. It was the most weirdest situation ever. And then obviously everyone knows, a few months into my scholarship I was in the first team squad. And then I made my debut, and I've got the gaffer to thank for that. You know what I mean? He's to put trust in someone at a young age, you just basically off the street sort of thing. And I hopefully, as time goes on, I've played 120 games, I'm only 21, so I can only learn and grow and get better. And I've got to put a big thanks to Gaffer, Kenny and all the staff that have helped me get to this point so far.
However, with any team, the key to success is to make sure that you have a natural goal scorer. One man who's been netting them in for the club since joining in 2011 is Morecambe legend Kevin Ellison. So who's the biggest character in the team?
I think everybody's going to answer the same one. It's Kevin Ellison. He just does not shut up.
Who's the funniest person in the team?
Funniest person in the team? Wow. Everyone says Kevin Ellison. I don't find him funny. I just find him really annoying.
There's a few, to be honest. Everyone always says it. There's a few. Obviously, everyone knows about Kev's loudness.
I think obviously everyone knows Kev. He's just so loud, it's unbelievable. Even at his age, he comes in the morning and it's non-stop.
Which is your favourite goal that you've scored this season? Because obviously you picked up the award for that goal that you got against Yeovil.
The Wickham goal with my right foot was the best goal, but I think points-wise and for the club and position we were in at the time, I think the Yeovil one from being 2-0 down at half-time and coming back to win 4-3, I think that was the most important one this season, definitely. And
obviously we've seen quite a few newcomers this season to Morecambe, the likes of Sam Lavelle, Callum Lang. How do you think they fared this season?
Yeah, I think they're a bit unknown, weren't they, when they first come. If you looked at Sam and that, he's one of the mainstay at the back now, and he's had a brilliant season for a young lad. Obviously he's still got a lot to learn and about the game and obviously around the place, but yeah, he has done really well. And you look at Langy, he came in, he's been here Christmas time, was it just before Christmas? If you look at him, he scored 10 goals, obviously, like myself, so they both contributed to an awful lot of the club, and they have done very well. I think the two of them will go far in the game.
Who'd you get on with best in the team?
I don't know. There's a few I do honestly get on with quite a few, and I like to mingle with the young lads because I'm not so young no more. They come in, obviously, when there's no game midweek, they've been out on a Saturday and there's a few stories and you like to hear what they've been up to, thinking, I wish I was 18 again. But I don't know, I'm probably in the middle. I sit on the fence. Obviously I stick up for the older lads sometimes, but then the way football's gone at the minute, I think there's an awful, like, the younger lads have gone a bit big time, and I think, not in here, I mean in general in football, I think that's the way football's gone. from when I first started to the way the academy players come through now. But I'd just say I sit on the fence there. I get on with the young and old really, where if you look at Baz and that, he's more towards the older lads, him and Rosie, and you want this done and that done. But football's not like that. It's changed an awful lot, and it is for the worse, I think. But as I say, I do get on with everybody. Yeah.
One of Kev's partners up front who has been beneficial to the club is Wigan loanee Callum Lang. The Liverpudlian came to the club as an almost unknown player. He had little history of playing at a professional level, and at 19 years of age was only just starting out with his professional playing career. However, with plenty of game time and the chance to learn, Callum has managed to score over 10 goals for the club, and his solid performances all season has brandished him as a goal-scoring striker in this division. In December, Callum managed to pick up the award for the English Football League's Young Player of the Month, a recognition to all his hard work. So, first of all, how do you think your first season at Morecambe's gone?
There's been ups and downs, but I've enjoyed it a lot. You know, obviously got the game time that I wanted. In the end, it was a tough start, but then I've got a lot more game time, so it's been a good experience for me, and kind of kicked off my career here. So it's been a good one for me.
We've heard from a couple of other players at Morecambe, and they say that Yeovil was probably one of the best team performances this season. Obviously coming back from being down, and like you say, you got a goal, Kev got the fourth one to get the 3 points. Would you say that was the best game this season?
Yeah, definitely. That's the best game I've ever played in, to be honest. Just the way the game went, we thought we were down and out at half time. It was such a big game because obviously they were down in the relegation battle at the time, and just the way the game went, and with Kev scoring last minute, and obviously that was the first time I'd scored a brace in a game, scored 2, so I was happy with the game and just the way it went, everything, like they equalised, then we go ahead again, just, yeah, it was a good game to play. Yeah.
People say that obviously Morecambe do remarkably well considering they've got one of the lowest budgets and they still get respectable finishes. Do you see it as overachieving?
Yeah, no, I think obviously it's hard for the club, obviously the money situation, and like you see teams around us like Barnet went out and they signed a lot of players, spent a bit of money, and like Morecambe haven't really got the money to do that, but I think the staff and the players as well do unbelievably well. We work hard and every day we're just trying to get better, so I think the club have done really well, and the time they've spent in the league with what they've got, they are doing very well, so we just want to make sure we stay in the league and for us give something back to how hard the staff have worked.
Who's the biggest character in the team?
There's a few, to be honest. Like I'm travelling with AJ. He's just a big weirdo. There's Kev, obviously everyone loves Kev. And then there's Lundy and Sam Lavelle, who just both buzz off each other. Like they're just laughing every day. Every time we look at them, they're laughing. So there's a few really. It's a good dressing room to be in.
Are there any players that you look up to most in the team?
I'd say Barry Roche. He's been so consistent all season, and I kind of want to do the same. Like he's an experienced player, and he's just so consistent. I think he's been our best player this season, and looking at him, like he sets the standard really. And then obviously Kev, like he's been around, hasn't he? And the age he's playing at now, like I hope I'm still playing when I'm. Like I know it's not easy to be doing what he's doing, but if I'm playing when I'm his age, I'll be very happy.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
It's an hard question, like, because with football you never know, but hopefully, like, I just want to get to the top. If you don't aim for the top, I don't know why you're in the game, because I think everyone's aim, especially as a young lad, just get to the Premier League. Like, I love to play for Everton and I want to get to the Premier League. I think I work hard and there's no reason why, if I keep on working hard, I can't, so
yeah. Moving on to April, Morecambe had just 7 games left in their season and they found themselves in almost the same position as several months ago. Away from the relegation zone, but only a few points out of danger. The first game to be played during this month was an away bout against mid-table side Cheltenham. However, a poor 3-0 defeat to Cheltenham tipped Morecambe ever so closer to that relegation zone. Just 3 days later, Morecambe had their rearranged game against Chesterfield. An opening goal from Morecambe's set piece put Gary Thompson on the score sheet for the first time in a while. It was an early lead for the Shrimps, but things were soon to get better. A good through ball and a showcase of good strength by Callum Lang got him through on goal with just the keeper to beat. Luckily, his calm nerves placed the ball right into the bottom corner, just out of the keeper's reach. A strike right into the roof of the goal beat Barry Roche, and all of a sudden, Morecambe looked in danger. Then there was a free kick for Chesterfield from quite far out. Their goalkeeper kicks it just outside the box, and after a few deflected shots, Chesterfield strike the ball past all of the Morecambe men and into the corner. With the score now at 2-2, Morecambe's lead had been taken away, and in the end, they had to settle with just a point. Moving on from the events on the cold Tuesday night, Morecambe faced another big challenge that weekend. A battle against their local rivals, Carlisle United. Carlisle United's first chance is what created the first goal of the afternoon. A beautifully executed strike from former Shrimps player Jamie Devitt broke the deadlock and they took an early lead. Another free kick from the edge of the box created another chance for Carlisle. However, this time Devitt's strike was matched by a great save from goalkeeper Barry Roche. Now it was Morecambe's time to fight back. A run down the wing gave an opportunity for a cross, one that was followed up with a great header from loanee Callum Lang, bringing the score back to 1-1. The following weekend, Morecambe travelled away to Crewe. Unfortunately for them though, this was not to be their day. Crewe took all 3 points in this game, getting their goal from a volley inside the penalty area from a corner kick. After the match, Morecambe also got the bad news that player Gary Thompson, who got stretchered off during the match, had picked up a rather serious injury, which would rule him out not only for the rest of the season, but also seemingly for part of the next season. However, there was still lots to play for. Morecambe had 3 games left until the season was over. Next up was their home match against Cambridge United on a Tuesday night. A game that proved to have little chances resulted in a 0-0 draw. Neither team committed to playing attacking football, and Morecambe were looking to just get something out of the match. Next came the big one, the club's home bout against relegation candidates Barnet. If they could get just a point against Barnet in this game, then they would stay in the Football League, but Barnet would be relegated along with Chesterfield. Throughout the game, Barnet were piling the pressure on Morecambe. They knew that anything less than a win would send them down, so unsurprisingly, they played attacking football. However, with only a couple of minutes to go, Barnet got their lead that they were after. A great touchdown and volley from 2 of their players secured the 1-0 win for them, and it put Morecambe into a very tricky situation. We already knew that Chesterfield were relegated and fellow strugglers Forest Green were safe. However, Morecambe were only 2 points above Barnet, which meant that they would need to draw against Coventry in that last game of the season to guarantee their safety. And obviously that Coventry game, it's the biggest game Morecambe have had since the promotion in 2007. Do you think this is the hour of need where you need the fans to come and support the players and make sure that they stay in the Football League?
Definitely. I think you can't do anything but be positive. I think being negative and chitter just bringing bad vibes, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna get us anywhere. So I know it's frustrating. It's frustrating for us as well.
Their opponents Coventry City only needed a point from this game to guarantee their place in the League Two playoffs. However, they weren't going to make it easy for Morecambe. Some testing shots during the first half had Barry Roche on his toes. Coventry continued to test Roche during the second half, but it seemed as though he wasn't going to be beaten. The final whistle then came, and Morecambe's hard work and determination was enough to keep them into the Football League for another season. The players on the pitch were understandably ecstatic. Even though it had been a poor season for the Shrimps, each individual player showed just how much it meant for them to stay in the league. And that marked the end to another dramatic season for the Shrimps, one which had many highs and lows along the way. As expected, the end of the season marked the end of some players' time at the club. Morecambe fans and players having to say goodbye to some first-team players that become part of the club's family. Overall, during this season at Morecambe Football Club, I have seen how one of the Football League's biggest underdogs have performed with steely determination and hard work to keep progress happening at the club and maybe giving them the chance to push for more in future years. Under the management of Jim Bentley and having the mix of youth and experience in the squad, it is clear to see how the players work together as a team and respect each other. With stable financial backing at Morecambe and the future of many players at the club secured, they can now begin to prepare for next season, where they will be hoping for more success and fortune to land their way.